Okay. Hello, my name is James Branham, and I'm a member of the steering committee of the Military Law Task Force, and we'd like to welcome you to this year's virtual literature table for the National Lawyers Guild Convention. Normally, of course, we have an in-person convention and an in-person an in-person literature table, which is normally staffed by our executive director, Kathy Yilvard. And when we found out there would not be an in-person convention and we're doing this virtual table, I thought, well, we need some way to have Kathy be a part of this table. So I thought what we'd do is we would have a conversation and I would talk with her a little bit about some of the work that the MLTF is currently involved in, but also a little bit about our history and just kind of giving anyone who's visiting us a little bit of an introduction to what we are about at the MLTF. So Kathy, thank you so much for having this time to chat with us.
Well, I'm happy to come chat with us.
Well, for anyone who's, let's say someone who's not at all familiar with the MLTF, but they've come to this virtual literature table, what would you tell them? What is the MLTF?
Well, I would say that we're a committee of the National Lawyers Guild that has existed since the 1960s, starting out as the Military Law Office or Military Law Project to provide assistance to GI resistors overseas. We've continued working on issues of anti-militarism, the rights of service members, selective service law, and veterans law since then, and have been involved in a number of struggles around GI rights, everything from ending the military's homophobic policies to providing assistance to survivors of military sexual assault, to assisting conscientious objectors. So we're a wide-ranging committee centered around military and veterans' rights, and have, what else can I say? We make trouble for the military.
I would add that I think one thing that the MLTF does as well is that we bring a specific political analysis to the legal conversation, meaning that we share the National Lawyers Guild's inherent anti-imperial and anti-capitalist interpretation to issues of militarism. And so I think that's something that we have a unique perspective on. We do deal with the law. We do deal with the practice of military law, but we also are doing so with a political or activist agenda. So
right, which puts us in a good position to support GI resistors and GI dissidents who often feel very isolated and unsupported in trying to challenge oppressive military policies.
Absolutely. What are some of the organizations that the MLTF has worked with, so let's say in the last few years?
Well, we work partly with the GI Rights Network. We're a member of that organization, which sponsors a national hotline to provide mostly non-attorney counseling by law students and legal workers, telling service members and vets about their rights in military law proceedings. And we are on the board of directors of the GI Rights Network, and we're involved in its founding, actually. We also work with About Face, which used to be called Iraq Vets Against the War, and to a lesser extent with Vets for Peace, in order to provide legal support and political support to veterans who are speaking out against U.S. policies.
So what are some of the ways, if someone was interested in our work or wanting to get involved, what are some ways that that could happen?
Well, members are encouraged to be involved in one or more of our projects if they want to. We have committees working around selective service and the effort to bring back a draft. We have a committee working around military sexual assault and sexual harassment, a relatively new committee challenging military racism and the rise of white supremacist groups in the military. We also have a quarterly newsletter on Watch, and a number of our members write articles or help edit the newsletter, which gives both legal and political analysis of military policies. Some of our members help in writing legal memos and self-help guides on topics ranging from conscientious objection to medical discharges to how to upgrade a bad discharge. So there's a wide range of work that people can be involved in. Some folks are quiet members who read the newsletter, maybe write an occasional article, maybe participate in our member listserv. Others are actively involved in one or more committees. And of course, we're always encouraging people to consider serving on our steering committee.
I think it's also important to mention that, like all parts of the National Lawyers Guild, despite the name lawyers in it, we actually have quite a few members who are not lawyers. Most importantly, our executive director, actually Kathy, is a legal worker. Many of our members are legal workers. Probably the majority of them are involved through the GI Rights Network. As far as our attorney members go, we have a wide range of attorneys as well. A few of us do this as our main area of practice. Most of our attorney members, though, do a few cases here and there. Some choose to specialize in one special topic. Others look for the right case when it's something that really fits their interest and what they're able to contribute. But there's a lot of ways to get plugged in and connected. And I'll also mention, I don't know if we've had this happen in a while, but historically in the past, we even had barracks lawyers. These were people in the military who helped other service members with dealing with the regulations and whatnot. I don't think we have that happening at the present moment, but it's something that we really see our work as being focused on education and empowerment from a broad range of places of engagement with the system. I also mentioned for a virtual literature table, we have some examples of some of our memorandums and briefs on different topics. We have some practical materials. We also, I think we will have a sample copy or two of On Watch, our quarterly journal. And I would say our journal is really, it has to me a hybrid identity, because it deals sometimes with the more scholarly big picture stuff, but it also is very practical. And I think it primarily is geared towards practitioners of all kinds. So lots of ways to get involved. Finally, Kathy, if someone wants to join the MLTF, how do they do that?
Well, I think on the literature table is a button for joining. Mm-hmm. People can also go to our website, both to check out the work that we're doing and to become members. The website is www.nlgmltf.org.
Fantastic. And we'll put that on the screen too. So if you didn't hear it, again, it's nlgmltf.org, but we'll put that on the screen too when we have the final edit. So, well, Kathy, thank you so much for joining us. I'll also mention, as far as some of the events happening during the convention, and all the dates and times will be listed on our virtual literature table. So I won't go over those now, but I do want to mention our membership meeting is a great chance for our members of the MLTF to hear what we're doing, to engage in some conversation about our priorities as an organization. We also begin the process of electing our steering committee members. Normally, we do not have quorum at the meeting, so we have the actual election later by email. But the first step of this process is the meeting. So if you want to get involved with the steering committee or have a voice in that, it's a great time to participate as well. And finally, for people who are just interested in MLTF, you're welcome to come. Some of it will be more focused on just our organization, but a lot of it will be more big picture stuff. So I think even if you're not currently a member of the MLTF, you're certainly welcome at our membership meeting. We also will be participating with the Labor and Employment, is it Labor and Employment Law Committee? Is that right, Kathy?
I think it's just Labor and Employment Committee.
Okay, Labor and Employment Committee. We are participating in a CLE on police misconduct and the role of police unions, which is an interesting connecting point for us, the Military Law Task Force. What I'll be sharing as one of the panelists, I was talking about some of the unintended consequences that happen when you forbid an organization such as the U.S. military from collective bargaining. And so we'll be discussing that. We'll also be comparing and contrasting whistleblower protections in the civilian law enforcement world as compared with the military context. So that's going to come up in my time, but there'll be a lot of other topics on the broader issue of police brutality, the role of police unions. And so that's going to be happening. We also may also have a 1 or 2 times during the convention week of a virtual happy hour. So if you'd like to join us, we'll have information on the virtual literature table if and when we do this. But it'll basically be just a chance for us to get together, to see each other on Zoom, and to actually just interact and do the things we would do if we were at a regular convention after the sessions are done. So anyway, if that happens,
we're still trying to figure out how to bring margaritas to those sessions.
Well, the best we can do is have them on camera, but we can all enjoy, we can all meet together, but separately in our own homes. So anyway, but thank you so much for everyone who is participating, and we're excited to get to connect with everyone we can during the convention. So that's all for now.
Very much.
And of course, if you have any questions, there's a big, I think there'll be a link there for questions, comments, etc. We'd love to hear from you, and hopefully we'll get to visit with you at one of the meetings. So take care.
Take care.
Bye now.